Jong Space.
Gekitoride.
Ready, go!
Jong Space.
MAME phase.
Hello and welcome to another stream. Now, if you've been following the news recently, you'll know there's been an effort to get the Namco System 10 games redumped now that the general situation with them and the encryption, how to get them booting in MAME is understood thanks to the work of Windy Fairy, and say a lot of them were found to be bad dumps as well as several not decrypted yet. And luckily, one of the ones that was decrypted back in the day, but was still a bad dump, is this one, which is Gekitoride-Jong Space. It's basically a 2-in-1 game from Metro. But yeah, this one, Andreas had done a decryptor for back in the day, but the dump was bad, so it didn't run when the first batch of System 10 games started booting. But since it's been redumped now, it does run, so that's what you're seeing in the corner. Anyway, that's the first thing I'm going to be looking at. But before I get to that, I'm just going to say hello to everybody who's in the chat. So we've got Tilanus, we've got Thomas, and we've got Chiny, or Chinny. We've got Aussie Guy, our regular fact finder and person of all knowledge. We've got Toastman Jack, and Andy again, and Mr. Fungi again. So a bunch of people, a bunch of names I recognise, and one or two new ones. I don't recognise Chiny 1979, but yes, it's great to see this progress, isn't it? It's really good. Even games like this, which I guess aren't going to be for everybody, but I did give it a little play earlier, and despite all being Mahjong tile based, I could kind of work out what I was doing. So it's actually kind of playable. And Mr. Midas 2K, so welcome to you all anyway. I'm doing all right. I just thought, well, it's Easter weekend, so why not just do another stream? I don't think this is going to be a super long one. I'm thinking maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's just going to be mostly things that I can't remember playing or haven't played much of. And again, maybe one or two bits of progress from recently over the last year or so. So anyway, let me switch the view to the full screen view. There we go. There we go. Hopefully the chat will fill back in up there in a second. So what is this then? Well, as I say, it's Gekitor. What was it called? Gekitoride-Jong Space from Metro 2001 on System 10 hardware. I do have to look that up every time. You usually wake up late in the day, Toastman, so it's a nice coincidence. I wish I could say my streams were regular or my sleep patterns were regular, but I do them when I feel like doing them. But I'm glad the worlds have collided and the coincidences happen, so you can be here. You can't be bothered learning Mahjong. No, I don't know how to play Mahjong either. But at the end of the day, they are just like pretty much like playing cards with numbers on. So this is the second game, which I think is Jong Space. I'm sure it's telling me how to play. You're jamming with math in your guitar. That's always a good thing to do if you can play. So basically, you know those Shanghai type games where you're pulling tiles from a stack and you have to get 3 at the bottom that sort of match and then they vanish? Say Dragon World, things like that, the IGS game Dragon World 2001 on PGM. This is similar, but with a cube. Or a 3D shape. You played a bit of Adventure Driller 2. It's a nice, fun little game, isn't it? Doesn't really do much that the first game didn't, but it's still a fun one. The bad dumps were just because the NAND devices Namco used and the programmers used to dump them. They didn't do a very good job. The programmers kind of skipped over a lot of data that they should have been dumping out. And there we go. You see, match 3. And so there was a load of data missing from them. And yeah. In the end, once, you know, they'd been studied a bit more, it became quite obvious that several of the dumps were bad. Windy pointed those out. A bunch of people have been working on getting them redumped now. So a bit of a teamwork, really, from a lot of different people. So, but yeah, you've got all these different surfaces of the cube with the, you know, with the Mahjong sort of symbols on. And you're gradually taking away cubes until there's none left. I think I'm not entirely sure what the match condition is for some of them. Because have I failed or have I won? Oh, I think I just passed. Oh, it's no sound. Sorry. Sorry, there is sound. There is sound. I turned it down for the intro. I obviously didn't turn it up quite enough. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. I had turned it down. So, thank you for reminding me there. Otherwise, you'd have had a lot more silence. I think I failed.
Please continue.
Yeah, Gekitoride.
Level 2. Start.
Yeah, at some point you can obviously, you know, for those symbols that, well, you know, they go together. That's quite clear. These trees are going to go together. They can find the other one. If it's not hidden, it might be hidden. Got to find ones that do go. Obviously, they're somewhat rotated because of the view. It seems like an original puzzle game. I've not played one with quite this set of rules before. Although, let's see one of those. I might end up failing though. Yeah, I can get that one. I see 2 of those. Somewhere, I lost them. Oh yeah, there's one of those there. There's one of those. So you can see what I'm doing. Without actually knowing what the tiles are, I can recognise which ones I need. Yeah, they are. They're very much like cards, aren't they? But that's the thing with System 10. It's got a lot of puzzle games. I don't think all of them are going to be entirely playable for non-Japanese readers. I mean, one of them looks like a sort of word game, and that is just going to be impossible, I would say. But the ones that are just like tile-based, you can sort of get to grips with them. These are all similar, but they're not the same. So, that was probably a mistake. Oh yeah, you can rotate them as well and get matches that way. In that time. Oh dear.
Please continue.
Yeah, there's a lot of software on those home systems. You're right, Wolf has. And a lot of it's not very accessible if you can't read. But yeah, that's the thing. You have to pay attention to the other sides of the squares too. I forgot about that because. So you do have this function where you can rotate the ones that are down there. So now, say I've rotated the ones down there, and I can look for this one that looks a bit like a 9 instead. But I say I gave this a little spin earlier, the first time I've ever played it, and I ended up quite liking it. I didn't think I would, but yeah. Unfortunately. Was I too optimistic? I'll get rid of these. Some of these, can I find those? It might be better if I had a time pause though, because it does require fast thinking as it is. I think as you saw last time, I just ran out of time. I've only got one of those. What do I miss? That's one. That will do. Now, there's probably ways to mess yourself out, you know, mess up and fail on these because you've not got the right pieces left, which may be what I'm doing here. Not anyway. Another 5 in it. I'm gonna fail this. Nope.
Please continue.
Yeah, the music is very nice as well. The music keeps you going with this one. It is a stressful timer. I suppose
Start.
I'm not fast at recognising where these things are, even the regular old, you know, Shanghai type games. So you've really got to be quick, and it's different every time as well. It seems to be randomised. So I've got one of the last one of those. I mean, if you played a game that's the same as this, let me know, but I think this is actually an original concept. And it's by Metro, and if you're familiar with Metro, there's the entire sort of Metro driver in MAME, which is just full of puzzle games that they've developed. And they even had a hand in some of the PGM ones. If you look at the, I think it's the not quite working puzzle star, it says, it basically credits Metro on it. I think Puzzly 2 does as well, because the original Puzzly was one of the games on Metro's hardware. So, I think this is a good idea. These are all different, aren't they? That's wrong, because that was the one I wanted on that side. Uh-oh. Oh, that, I've got that there. That's what I need. There we go. Can't make anything of these though. I think I can. Well, I don't need to, do I? Because there's only 3 left.
Please continue.
I thought because there was only 3 left, I'd be okay. But it was. No, okay, let's give this one more credit and see if I can actually get past this level. Otherwise, we'll look at the other game that is part of this. I don't expect donations, Andy. It's up to people here if they want to. I mean, you know, it's there because basically people are saying, you know, they like the option, not because they expect anything. You've got to keep an eye on all the edges. It's nowhere near as easy as you might think it is. Probably can't clear those. Time's gonna get me again, isn't it? The time is coming from me. This isn't going to go wrong. Fairly sure I already messed up again. Never mind.
Continue.
I tried consecutive with the same style. I haven't. Maybe that works. I don't know. Maybe I should try that.
Game over.
Anyway, as I said, this is actually a 2-in-1, which is nice. So you've got the other game in this, which is this one over here. I'm going to go with easy mode. Very stylish in the presentation, isn't it? So this one, you're firing blocks up at the top to match. And again, it's quite heavy puzzle based. Because if you leave yourself in a deadlock where you can't clear the pieces, it will fail you. Decryption is a very specialist skill, unfortunately, Toastman. There aren't that many people who are good at it, and the ones who are generally in quite high demand. So yeah, anyway. I'll skip the tutorial because, well, I'm feeling brave. I can fire that one there. No, I want to find this one. You can see the pieces in the order they come in, but you have to plan it all very carefully. I'm sure this is entirely wrong. I'll get rid of those, but I've completely messed up this level already. I did complete this first level earlier. You see, I do that and then that's it. I'm deadlocked. So I fail. No, there's lots of Namco System 10 games that aren't decrypted yet and plenty that are still bad dumps, Mr. Fun Guy. The ready go is very puzzle wobble, isn't it? But you can cancel and go back, okay. So I think that's the right move. but would that be right? Domino Block doing that one though. How on earth did I manage this earlier? Diagonals don't count. What is missing in this stream, Flack? What is missing in this stream? Metro were formed in 87, were they? And the first game was in July 92. That took a while. Unless I can just do that with that one. With that one. So those ones go together, right? Okay. So that one can go there. That one goes there. That one goes there. There we go. I managed it. Blessing? Who requires blessing this time, Flat Q? Yeah, you have. This is a pure puzzle game. You have to work out the solution. I mean, all the information is there on the screen. You know exactly what pieces you're going to get and when you're going to get them. But it's close to being a chess puzzle. It even flashes things to help you. You know what they can match with. I'm guessing. Like the flower will match with those two. So even if you don't know the Mahjong tiles, it does at least sort of tell you some things. But yeah, so I know those will match. But I mean, there's absolutely no chance of this working out. That was the wrong move. That's the way I want it. But yeah, I can't do this, can I? No. I don't think I'm going to do Apache 3 anytime soon, Andy. I looked at it, but, you know, it's tricky. One of those that could still take another few years. So, you just don't want to block things so you can't possibly match them. Get that one so late though, that other piece. I only need that there. Let's just throw those up. Can't do it again, can I? No. No chance. So, yeah, this one is the much more difficult of the two puzzle games in this collection. If you don't know what you're doing, your credit will be over very, very quickly. That is evident. Shall we quickly go back to the other one now? Let's move on to some of these other games that I've really not played much of. Yeah, so I'll bring up my list. But, say that shows a slightly different side to the System 10 games, which I thought was worth showing off. And again, we've got Windy Fairy and Andreas to thank for that. So, okay, let's go with one of the ones that I've not really played much of because it was only emulated recently, like in the last year. Now, Ryan Holtz, movie guy, did a lot of work on this one and the other game with the same hardware, and this is Konami's Polygonet Warriors, in this case the Japanese one. So Konami's early attempt at doing a 3D game. This is a lot quieter than the PlayStation games too. Anyway, so if you've played games like Tokyo Wars, arena shooter type games, this is very similar. I mean, half the appeal I think of the original game was that you could link the cabinets, but the arenas are tiny. This is really quiet, isn't it? So, there we go. Now, Konami released sort of 2 games based on this technology for different regions, and the Japanese version is this very cutesy looking game, whereas the export version for America, they completely redid it with just like tanks and everything else, and it loses pretty much all the charm it had. But yeah, you're just going around these arenas, trying not to get shot while shooting everybody else, knocking them out. One of the music tracks in this game is in Police Nuts as an Easter egg. Yeah, Konami like their Easter eggs, don't they? I mean, most game companies like their Easter eggs. This really feels like it needs a jump button or some sort of strife button to, you know, move out the way. But that it does not have. No, I can see. It is that sort of stereotype, isn't it? Oh, America doesn't want cutesy games. I mean, Taito went down that route trying to take Bub and Bob out of Puzzle Bobble and rebranding them as Buster Move and all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know why that was the general feeling, but it was. Vertical polygon game. Yeah, it's unusual, isn't it? I mean, I guess because you associate polygon games more with home systems, and home systems weren't vertical. So when you see a vertical polygon game, especially one from this period, it stands out. But, you know, now you've gone vertical on other games when you might not have expected to. Overdrive, for example, the racing game is vertical, and you think, why? And then they did that Police 911 one, and that's a vertical game, and you're thinking that's an odd choice. But as you can see, the frame rate in this is not great. That's not MAME, that's just the game didn't have the best frame rate in the world. To be honest, by the time it came out, I imagine it looked quite dated in the arcades. This is the problem with early 3D, the technology was moving so quickly. You can be really happy with what you're working on and see what the competition's come up with, and suddenly your game doesn't really stand out. Yeah, then we got the mascot platformers, and I don't know. I guess that's the problem with some of these location tests and feedback from players. It doesn't always reflect what everybody wants. Yeah, this does have style, and then you get courses like this, tracks like this, actually, you know, have a bit more design to them. They look like they've got this little ramp system. They're all tiny arenas, but they are all well designed. Unfortunately, I don't think you can go up the ramp. But, you know, it is still flat. It's there for decoration. Well, they were going for the cutesy look. I mean, it is one of the options you've got when you're dealing with low polygons. You can, you know, it's a style that works for low polygons. But I'm getting beat on this stage. The gameplay is a little simple though, and I think it's joystick based, isn't it? Yeah, it's just, that's the other thing with this. You expect it to be an analog control, but it's not. It's a joystick. I don't know if that's just because we've grown to expect, you know, first-person, third-person games to use analog controls, not joysticks. But this one is very much joystick-based. Yeah, this was. I mean, I don't think it was super early. In 1993, you see, it's not Sega early. It's quite late, in fact. That's why I was saying, by the time it came out, it probably looked a little bit dated. Because Namco had been doing 3D earlier than this, Atari had been doing 3D earlier than this, Sega had been doing 3D earlier, and yeah, this is when Konami sort of jumped on board. Is the aiming look like old do? You rotate, you just rotate tank control type on the spot rotation, move forward and backward. You could probably have done the game as a 2D overhead and not lost anything, but it does have style. I mean, I love this title presentation here as well. See, that is super cute. But yeah, I've not played this one much because it's only recently been emulated last year. I've obviously not been streaming in that time, so it's probably not one. Well, I'm pretty sure I can't have possibly had a stream where I've played it because I don't think it was streaming when it got emulated. Yeah, people say things that you look back on and go, wow, they really thought that wouldn't catch on. It did, or people thought something would catch on that really didn't. Anyway, we'll quickly look at the other version of it. So, because we were talking about how cutesy that one was, and I'm pretty sure Japan didn't get this version, and the US didn't get the cutesy version. I mean, technically they've got different game codes, but yeah. North and South America only. Yeah, everybody tried. Well, no, I mean, say everybody. Maybe some of them did just kind of fade away. I mean, Data East did a few. They did, well, tried to do a few. They tried to do Airwalkers on Model 2, which may or may not have been released. But, yeah. Now you see, it's gone all serious. No one entered the game.
Destroy the opposition within the time limit. Good luck. Roger.
Now the hood does flash a bit on this, the tank bit. I don't know if it's meant to. Now this one does use different controls. Yeah, this one left stick, right stick. So this one uses two sticks. So they've changed the controls as well. So this doesn't aim like Doom. This drives. This is more like assault style tank controls, although without being able to roll your tank over and stuff. Yeah, this hardware was only used by these two games. That credit lasted a long time. Ooh, you can choose your course. I mean, I think Konami probably realised it wasn't the most powerful piece of hardware, and any games they released on it were going to probably be judged quite harshly compared to what anybody else was putting out. It's an incredibly unique piece of hardware. Around the walls. You can see this doesn't have even half the charm of the Japanese game.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Also, don't get. You saw how long we played the Japanese game for? That's the same course. And you see how many credits I've already had to use on this? Yeah, 3D Battle Zone, but the problem is the arenas are so small. Battle Zone at least gave the illusion that there was a very big area. Here, yeah, it's claustrophobic. And this version just kills you off super fast as well. Pretty sure the front of the tank's not going to keep disappearing like that, but hey, it's always done that in MAME. We're going to survive this time. Hope not. Well, I think I might have qualified. I think it's flashing like I have. Oh no, I've basically got a qualified indeed. That's it. You know, I'm not going to qualify and stay here. I've got to destroy another 5-6 tanks. Hey Morpho, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. So yeah, overseas Konami game always do, don't we, Cow? And welcome, Cow. So yeah, if you're going to play either of these, I would recommend the cutesy Japanese game. The balance on Polygonet Commanders here is just not as much fun, and the language barrier doesn't make much difference in this. You know, you blow everything up. That's the game. If you know how to blow things up, yeah, you should be good to go. Right. Okay. Another game, a much older one that's been emulated in MAME for years that I can't really remember playing much of, is Levers from Rockola in 1983. I may have played it on stream before, but I don't really remember playing it. Yeah, it's the serious theme didn't really work as well, did it? The enemy were definitely around me on that one. So this has a bunch of seesaws and a ball dropping from the top of the screen and things to collect a bit like Bomb Jack, which seem to want to be collected in order. And they couldn't even be bothered to write credit in full. So you grow out of the triangle. You're jumping around from. See, some of them flash like that. I guess there's a bonus to picking them up in order. I've probably got a headache now. But in screenshots, this game looks really curious. It's not really clear how it would play. And having played it, I'm still not entirely sure how it plays. I mean, the balls obviously tip these seesaws around. And now we don't have as many seesaws, so now I guess you're risking falling off more. Because if you slide off, you do die. But yeah, I really can't remember playing this one before. Now somebody's going to point at the exact stream where I played it. I never see anybody talking about it either. Never seen it in a real arcade. Don't know what the little fly thing, bee thing, is doing. So, there's a nice ball rolling animation on this though. I do like it when early games have well animated sprites. So I can't collect them until they start growing, by the looks of it. Peculiar, yes. I mean, they were clearly going for something different. You know, you see other people who are just making cheap Pac-Man knockoffs. Yeah, I jumped across at the wrong time and died. So you will fall to your death if you jump at the wrong time. You can only collect them when they start to grow, but do you get more points if you wait a little while? They seem to grow into flowers like that, which may be worth more points. Also, I noticed that the top player 2 score is on the left. That is unconventional. Yeah, stand in the wrong place and you will die. The insect thing seems to be stopping them growing, eating them, mate. Oh, we get hit by the spike once you die straight away. Yeah, I think it's Galaxian hardware. Yeah, Galaxian driver. Doesn't really look like a Galaxian hardware game, does it? Or sound like one. I don't know if this is a Rockola original. I mean, Rockola did develop a few things. Or did they license it from somebody? It's the only set in MAME is the Rockola set. And it does have a different enough feel for me to think it's probably an original development. Say some of the ideas are unconventional. Like I say, the score thing at the top, player 2 on the left. Not standard. It was designed by Joe Back and Joe Ulowetz. Well, at Rockola. Ah, so it is a Rockola original. Thank you, Aussie guy. That little ball got me. No, got spiked. It's interesting where the challenge starts to come from as well. You kind of, at first you think, well, how's it going to get challenging? And then it just starts getting really busy, and those spiky balls, you have to watch where they are. And you can only go to the plants that have got leaves on, so you can't always plan a route as quickly and as easily as you expect. Sometimes you have to leave ones alone for a little bit because of this pesky thing. So no, first impressions of this one, I do enjoy. Yeah, Aussie Guy is always here with the facts. The streams would definitely not be the same without Aussie Guy's facts. And apparently contacts too, because you know, Aussie Guy was saying that one of his friends dumped the Space Micon kit. So, you know, good knowledge and good context. It reminds me of Pintan from Kaneko, which has got an MSX port. I'm going to note that down then, Aussie Guy, because I'd like little facts like that one, and looking at games that should have been arcade games but weren't. So I'm going to save that in this document here. But yeah, Levers, I'm pretty sure I've not played it before, and if I have, I didn't play it for long. But this could almost be a little bit of a hidden gem. If I start doing sort of a duel or junks type stream again, maybe we'll have to put this one on it and see what people think. So I think Anyway, so yes. Okay, what next? What next? What next? What about a hack? What about a hack? We're sticking with Galaxian style stuff, but this is an interesting hack. This is Gatsbee, which, yes, it's it is a hack. It's a hack of Gachaga, in fact, not Galaxian. I'm sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. Why did this is a hack of Gachaga, not a hack of Galaxian. But it is noteworthy because, well, not because it's got ugly text there. I don't really know why they've replaced some of the letters, but it's noteworthy. In fact, there seems to be is there a banking issue at the moment in the emulation? I don't know. But you can move up and down. It's a Gachaga clone with full 8 directional movement, which doesn't actually make it any easier. So I don't know if those glitches happen on the real hardware or not. It is a hack after all. They've probably added some extra graphic banks and stuff. But quite strange to see a Gachaga hack where you can actually just move around as if it was a shooter. Obviously, Gaplus did this in the end, but I think this was before Gaplus. Yeah. It just makes it feel like an entirely different game. It doesn't feel like you're playing Gachaga. Same year as Gaplus. So maybe inspired by it? Difficult to know. I mean, it's not the most adventurous thing to add multi-directional controls. I mean, I'm sure anybody could have thought of the idea. It's a case of, did they play Gaplus first or not? Or did Namco see this and make Gaplus because they realised, okay, they want that. Players want that. Cosmo Gang the Video is a good one as well. I think I played that one a bit too often to be playing it on this stream. I don't even play it on stream much, but I played it personally a bit too often. The Great Gatsbee. Yes. They also released Patgao, did they? Ah. I don't think Patgao's got any significant modifications that has the Aussie guy. Anyway, so I thought I'd show that one quickly. I mean, there's not much else to show about it. It's just, say, Gachaga with multi-directional movement. So, a game now that really barely feels like a game, although it is from 1980. Shark Attack on Pacific Novelty, also known as the Jaws game, because you're a shark and you eat people. So yeah, tasty, tasty. You know, when I did that Halloween stream, I probably should have done this game. You know, the one where I counted how many deaths there were. I'm not meant to. Tasty people. But yeah, this is the game. It's like somebody just said, wouldn't it be cool if there was a game where you play as a shark and eat people? And here's your game with a shark where you eat people. I mean, the game is definitely a novelty. Yeah, there's a lot of death. That's what I'm saying. It would have been perfect for that Halloween stream with the counter. Unfortunately, the game does lack depth. Let's just be kind and say it lacks depth. I get the impression maybe it was coded in a couple of weeks. Shark Attack's working title is Deep Death. Well, I think Shark Attack's probably a better title. I mean, it perfectly describes the game. Well, I could be cruel and say car crash, but it's not that bad. It's just very simple. Yeah, this does have more violence than Mortal Kombat, and this was in 1980. I mean, there were some... I mean, Death Race was quite violent, wasn't it? Everybody says, you know, you're just running people over. The GTA of the 70s, or I think it was late 70s, wasn't it? But yeah, it's just go up to divers, avoid their shots, harpoons, and eat them. I've never played it before. I've seen it mentioned before, but for some reason I realised I never actually played this game before. I don't think I've missed much. Kind of feels like something you might have found in a home computer magazine as a type-in. Was it ported to the 2600? Oof. I think even as a 2600 game this would have been rough. I'm not working on Model 3 Mulfruit, it's not one of my drivers. Feels like an old TTL game. Yeah, it is that basic. It has an unemulated track of people screaming when you kill it. You need a sample for it. No, I don't have... I thought actually I did have the samples installed, but clearly I don't have the sample for this one. Also, samples like that really should be part of the game ROM, I think, because they're part of the game media. It's like the Journey sound. It's a cassette that was part of the game. It's not really something that should be a sample. It should be treated like any other cassette media. You know, like a cassette tape games are. It should be in the ROM list or the software list. In this case, it's an arcade game, so in the main ROM list. Yeah, I know that Thief uses an audio track. I forgot that was a specific novelty. So I guess they did like doing that. Yeah, the 26 did have some rough games, you're right, Mr. Fungi. But yeah, so they've not got the audio tape running, but you get the idea. It would just be people screaming just to add to the intensity. Oh, look, Shark Attack, look at that zooming. But yeah, I think at some point the samples in cases like that do need to be moved to the ROM sets because they are part of the game. So that would definitely be a contender for that happening too. Right. Where are we going? Right, okay. Yeah, let's have a look at one that was dumped during the time I wasn't streaming. This is Dice, the Dice game. It's a bootleg. A bootleg of an unreleased IREM game called Dice. Probably bootleg from a location test or something like that. Yeah, I did play the MSX game that Mog's video showed off on the Does This Still Work stream from about a week ago. So, yeah, I was looking in the ROM for this, and there do appear to be English strings, so I don't know why it's still in Japanese, unless there's no way to enable those English strings. Because the board was apparently found in Germany. Now, you've got... I can't remember. You've got to add the dice up to the right number, which is 7? I can't remember now. So this is not really a game I've played much of. Showing aim, showing Japan. What? It shows you what's on each side of the dice when you're next to it. But you can roll them over and push them. Yeah, you need to get them to 7s. You can walk on the sides here. So 5 and 2 is a 7. There we go. Now I need to be careful here. Yeah, I saw there was some Mr. work going on for the iron platforms. But, yeah, as you can see, I've not really played this one much. Okay, yeah, you're quite slow at moving. Maybe I should have selected easy instead of medium. I mean, the presentation values are good. I'll continue anyway. Yeah, it's... I mean, IREM did have some real hits at that time, didn't they? But maybe if I just try and keep away from them a bit more. Two. There we go. Now roll this one over to a 6. That'll work. Oh. Boxy Boy mixed with Bomber. Yeah, it's a bit Boxy Boy and Bomberman, isn't it? Okay. That was an odd match. But there we go, that works. Most of IREM's output was really good. I mean, I can't think of many IREM games I'd outright call bad. Okay, I can't push the grey ones about me. Okay. Where's my 6? I know what I'm trying to do. I'll push that there. I'm sure I can match that with that. Yes, okay. This one I need the 5. Right. I need it. It's not going to match now. Is that going to work? If I roll this... No. Oh. It's trickier than you might think. No, that's what I wanted. I wanted the 6. It reminds me of that game where you're rotating a cube to get in the hole as well, which I was also very bad at. What's happened to the dice at the top? Oh. No, I need the 5 downwards. I think. There. Now I need this one to be fixed and nope, not like that. No, this isn't symmetrical, is it? There we go. Pokemon meets Pengo. Sorry, I'm a bit quiet on this one because I'm trying to concentrate on solving the puzzle. Yeah, again, I played this briefly when it got added, but other than that, I don't know that much about it. Oh, so these get stuck in the holes now. More puzzle elements. Okay. I think I've messed this stage up already. Is there a retry option? I'm pretty sure I can't do anything now. Yeah, okay, it fails if you get stuck. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. Maybe that's why it didn't get released. I don't know. I mean, obviously games that are too easy don't get released because you know, people spend too long on machines. But maybe if they're too difficult, the feedback is it's too difficult. Nobody's going to want to play it. It requires too much thinking. It seems like a pretty good game. I actually can't complain about it. If this came out on a home system, like if this had been on the Mega Drive, I think I would have really liked it. As an arcade game, maybe. I mean, I can't really say that because I was playing puzzle games earlier, which required just as much thinking, especially the second game in that Namco System 10 one. So I don't know. I don't really know why this wouldn't have been released. It seems like a good game, but clearly Tuning must have thought so too. So anyway, well suited to the Game Boy. Yeah, you're right. It would work, and maybe the screen would make it a bit difficult to read the dice. But I guess you'd take away some of the visual style to make it clearer. But yeah, it would be a nice handheld game as well. I mean, it's the kind of game that probably be quite nice on a, say, Switch today. I actually like the original Trog more, Wolfaz, the puzzle one. But I guess that is a personal opinion. Right, let's go through some British jankiness. Let's have a look at Cosmos from Century Electronics. Flashy screen. Yeah, Game Boy Color might have worked better. Pirate Ship Higmaru thingy. I have played that on stream before. And yeah, that is also pushing things around, isn't it? So we're back to dodgy Astro Blaster type rip-offs with lots of flashy colours. Now, I did give this one a bit of a spin earlier, and I got a bit confused. I didn't keep dying like this earlier, though. Speed's broken. There's meant to be some speech. Okay, hold on. The speech was working earlier. I don't know where my speech has gone. Let's try firing it up again. See if it works this time. Now, I played this a little bit before the stream, and there was speech. Playing it now, it didn't seem to want to play speech. Yeah, there's meant to be speech when you shoot those fuel things. What? Anyway, I don't know why that's happening. I swear it worked earlier. So there's nothing in dip switches. System. I am quite confused. TMS volume. Okay. Maybe there's something uninitialized in the driver because I played it earlier and there was speech. Oh, hey Peter, welcome. Yeah, I'm playing some more janky games which for some reason aren't working as well as they worked when I tested them an hour ago. In this case, I mean, I was actually going to highlight what I think might be a different bug in this game, which is that it doesn't seem to increase the counter at the bottom for the different waves. Because obviously I've refueled now, but it still seems to indicate on the first stage at the bottom. I don't know how long these stages are, but to me this feels more like a second wave, unless the waves are much longer. It had speech earlier. It literally had speech when I tested it before the stream. So I have no idea what's happened here. It was telling me my blaster was overheating and bonus fuel corrected whenever I fired one of those. And now it's not. Yeah, that may be something uninitialized in the driver. Because it did work for me earlier. Yeah, I can't find now because my energy is... It says energy, when what it means is weapon heat. So I've got to let that cool down a bit. Energy is really misleading. You have the speech. Yeah, I had the speech in the same build like an hour ago. Because I was quickly testing to make sure it ran. Because, you know, I do prepare for these streams. So, that will need looking at. Yeah, let's try again then. Do you have to quit out to get speech? Let's try firing up again. Preparing is cheating. Yeah. Is it meant to say sound system operational like the others? And we're just going to work out if it has speech when I fire stuff. Yeah, it must be something uninitialized in the driver or one of the cores. Oh well. Yeah, no speech again. Well, it looks like it's not going to give me any speech today. Full screen it? No. Oh well, never mind. We may look at that one another time. What I wanted to say though, it doesn't seem to increase the round counter unless the rounds go on for much longer than I was playing. I don't know, it's a bit janky and clearly needs some work. I don't think it'll have an NVRAM file. Yeah, it's not got NVRAM. I cleared my config file I'm going to go with something uninitialized. So, fun bugs. Right. Okay. Let's just switch to something else then. This game, now note, it switches striptease off. We're not having any of that nonsense. You may recognise the sound in this game. Recognise the sound yet? Maybe I have to turn the sound up a bit, I don't know. Yeah, it's got the Arkanoid sound. And you might think it would be a hack of Arkanoid. It is horizontal, not vertical. And at first you think, could it be a hack of Arkanoid? But then you look at how the ball moves. Despite having the Arkanoid sounds, this is not Arkanoid. You've always got this attack. Because you've not seen it yet, but the ball behaves in very weird ways. Sort of gets trapped between rows sometimes. It's not doing it for me now, but the angles are all wrong as well. If this was actually Arkanoid code, it would move a lot better. So I think they've just stolen the Arkanoid sounds. Again, you don't actually have the Arkanoid power-ups, you just have these domino things. But there you see, it just moved horizontally in a weird way after it hit the block. It does that quite often. Just get rid of that. There. I think maybe you have to tell it to do that actually. I don't know. Maybe it's if you press the button it does that. Yeah. So yeah, if you press the button, I think it will do a weird horizontal movement. In general, I mean, if it is hacked from Arkanoid, they have made a real mess of. No, I didn't press the button that time. It just did it. It doesn't make sense. Look, I've got a lasers now. Yeah, Death Sound is the same as Mega Man on the NES. Did they take that from Arkanoid? Because it's very much the Arkanoid sound system here. Arkanoid sound. But yeah, I'd always looked at this and heard this and thought, well, it's just a hack of Arkanoid. And, you know, I didn't really play it. Look at that bounce on that. That's so weird. And again, I fired it up when I was just looking for things to play today and thought, hang on, that doesn't really seem like it's actually Arkanoid. It just sounds like it. Now, there are two sets of this. This is version 2. Version 2, even if you turn the striptease on, does not actually have nudity. Version 1, it's not fully nude. There are little tassel censorship things, but yeah, probably still too much to really want to play on stream. I mean, any kind of striptease that's full screen, yeah, probably not the best idea. If it's just in the background on a poster in some game, it's probably not going to bother YouTube, but if it's intentionally full screen, I think best not stream. Hence why I made sure to turn even the slight undressing off on this one. Wall Clash is another pretty terrible one. This is true, Aussie guy. Another Korean one is Madball. That one's actually pretty good. A bit slow because it seems to push the Z80 far too hard, but it's not too bad otherwise. The power-up's being rotated. I mean, the whole game is rotated 90 degrees compared to Arkanoid. But yeah, I don't know why they did that though with the power-ups. I'm going to say there's a 99.9% chance the girls are stolen from somewhere else, Toastman Jack. I mean, these Korean games, that's always the case, really. They're never actually original. They've always lifted them from somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that aren't more direct hacks of Arkanoid replacing the backgrounds, because you've got it with other games. You've got that Bubble Bobble, like Miss Bubble game, where they literally added high colour background layers behind Bubble Bobble and redraw the stripes, but it's still Bubble Bobble. I'm quite surprised there aren't more Arkanoid, actual hacks of Arkanoid like that. In fact, I don't think there are any hacks of Arkanoid like that. So this is sort of the closest you get, if you want something that sounds like Arkanoid at least, but it really doesn't play much like Arkanoid. It plays like a cheap knockoff, which is what it is. Also, it's a lot easier than that Space Micon. Look, I can actually hit the ball back. That Space Micon was ridiculous. Arkanoid with annoying backgrounds and distractions. I mean, Arkanoid itself had kind of distracting backgrounds, especially on the home computer ports. You try and play it with colour clash on the Spectrum, it's a bit of a nightmare, especially Arkanoid 2, where they made the backgrounds rather intense looking. Anyway, that was one that surprised me because it wasn't quite what I was expecting. Should we just go with what should we go with? Should we go with quite a famous one that I really don't know if I ever played much of? I'm sure I have played it, but probably not much. Namco's toypop. Now this always strikes me as odd because this is 1986 on basically the same board as Libble Rabble, I believe. But much later than Libble Rabble. So, are there any North Korean arcade games, or just games? I don't think there are. I mean, there are some that might be, but I don't know. They seem to indicate they might be, but they probably aren't. I don't know. So, Toy Pop. So, this seems a bit overly simple. From all I can gather, you're basically just going around collecting the potions, opening boxes. And obviously shooting things. And you collect the hearts from the potions, and the door opens, and eventually you can escape. Now, I'm used to really creative Namco games, so I feel like I must be missing something with this. This seems like an incredibly simple Namco game. You're not even pushing the blocks around, you're just firing at them to open them. So yeah, let's just go over here and open the box over here. And yeah, some of traps. Pulley Ruler, you mean, Postman Jack? Yeah, Libble Rabble is a really creative, interesting game. This... I don't know. It feels kind of plain. It's got... It feels more Taito than Namco as well. But... yeah... Right, exit, yeah. Where's the missing part? Is this really all there is to it? Find the hearts, go to the exit. Find the hearts, go to the exit. Yeah, the music's nice. But... I don't know. It just doesn't seem to have that Namco quality. Just searching random boxes is kind of not fun. Bit Bomberman-y there. But yeah, it's just, I mean, you don't know what's going to be in any of them. I don't know if they're randomised, but... And maybe it has its fans. Liberal Rebel, I've probably played too much to actually feature on the stream. I mean, the point of the stream is ones that I've not really played much of, either in person or on stream. Oh, they turned into something. The music gets very repetitive too. Now we go over here and open these bottles. Did they make it because people with Liberal Rabble boards wanted something that was cheaper to operate, or you know, without the twin joystick setup? Because say the fact that this came out several years after Liberal Rabble, it's bizarre. Did they just have old stock they wanted to get rid of? Then why not just reissue Liberal Rabble, which is more fun? Yeah, I mean, you do get other stock clearance type things. I mean, usually redemption games. But that's the only thing I can think of, is that they just wanted to clear the Liberal Rabble stock, so made another game for it. Another System 16 redemption game did recently show up, like today I first heard about it. I think Waku Waku Fishing or something like that. Again, it's just a ticket type thing, but interesting to see that there are still games for, you know, these old platforms showing up. I mean, saying game is a push, it's a redemption thing, so you insert a credit, you watch a sequence, you get some tickets or medals or whatever else. I don't know. It's playable, it's just uninspiring. You know, you expect a bit more from Namco. Obviously, you got the Pinocchio-like figure there. It also reminds you of the Japanese Pac-Man from Pac-Man. They've got the long nose graphic in that versus the other versions. But yeah, maybe it's more fun with two players. Hard to say. Hard to say. Anyway, we are just on an hour and a half now. So yeah, I said I'd probably do about 2 hours, so I'll probably stick to about 2 hours. Vertical. So, Redline Racer by Cinematronics, Trade West license. This is very much like games like Super Off-Road, similar hardware. I think it's the same board actually, Leland driver, yeah. But it's basically the one nobody talks about. Again, it's a vertical game when you might expect it to be horizontal. No, let's not enter initials. Welcome, amateur. Thank you. I mean, it knows me well. So you're racing around the track. It's got the whole Super Sprint knockoff feel to it. But it's also got added Leland Cinematronics jank to it.
Red amateur advance to racer.
Red car, you're sold. It's got the speech. I don't know, calling it an amateur straight away just seemed a bit insulting, but yeah, you're collecting the coins, you're avoiding oil slicks, and you're completing a simple racetrack. Original, it is not. Also, it's got all these little slowdowns whenever it plays a sound, which
Red racer advance to pro.
I've got to insert a coin to continue. Or did I fail to insert a coin to continue? Enter your birthday. Yes, okay. Select track. Oh, you can choose a different track. Okay. There we go. So it's not even progressive, you just choose the track you want. I guess you can do the jump. Oh, no, because it went flat. It's a trick jump. It flattens itself. Oh, look, I fell out the car. Yeah. I'm not sure why any arcade would really want this when there are so many better options available. At least it doesn't ask your blood type. Yeah, that's always a strange thing. I don't know why so many Japanese games did that, at least back in the time. Super Dead Heat was better than this cow. I don't know if this has even got a shop. It feels very bare bones. It's got like loads of high score places.
Thank you very much.
Correct horsepower. Oh, the HP thing is horsepower. Okay. Bonus. So it doesn't seem to have the shot mechanic that the others have. Just doesn't seem to have much going for it. Not much of a shortcut if it takes that long. So... looks like it supports 2 players. It might be more fun with the second player. Hey Azriel, welcome. First time I see the name. I hope you're doing well. I think it's the first time anyway. Welcome to a little stream of arcade games I've not played much of. Some of them seemingly for good reason. Others I've just overlooked. And this one, I think I've shown others to show with it. Well, there's different coloured cars in the demo mode, and they were all the same colour in the race. I don't know what that's all about. They seem to be stuck on each other. Yeah, let's just move on from that one. That one wasn't much fun. Redline Racer. Bit rubbish, to be honest. Bit rubbish. This is one horizontal or vertical? Vertical. SNK game. Early SNK game. Not super early, but 85 early. HAL 21. Now, this is one of those SNK shooters, because SNK in the 80s did quite a few shooters. You don't really think of SNK as a shoot-'em-up company, but in the 80s, you find just as many shoot-'em-ups from SNK as anybody else. Which is why it's kind of odd by the time you got to the Neo Geo, they just put out really generic games like Ghost Pilots, and nobody cared about them. Racing Force still isn't very playable, even if you know the debug key, but you can see the road if you do that, yeah. Vertex, so there's no dumps of it, no public dumps of it at least. I think the private dumps are bad or something like that, I don't know. It's not one I've looked at. And Racing Force got that really complex Konami chip. Looks like corrupted graphic from Xevious. It's slightly wobbly, Xevious. The enemies seem to want to dance around. Look at those tank things. They're almost dancing to the beat. That's why I'm just going to drop bombs on them. Yeah, it's a bit Xevious. With a very, very strange style to it. I think I died. The enemy patterns are odd too. But no, I don't think I've played this one before. Played other early SNK shooters like World Wars, Bermuda Triangle, Chopper 1, Tank, Alpha Mission, ASO, but I don't think I played this one. But yeah, it's got your standard bomb button and fire button. I mean, definitely Xevious influenced. I'm interested because the track mode shows these massive robot things there. I don't know if they're bosses. But look at these attack patterns. That's just wild. I got too close. And there's lots of animation going on. I mean, when you destroy things, they do this circular animation. It's quite busy. I've got pentagram-like things. A very big base, which is annoying. Yeah, these are like, well, I can't see, they don't seem to reflect the shots like the rotating squares in Xevious, but visually they were reminding me of that. There was an SNK game, you mean Madcrash or Madcrusher? The isometric one. There was also Gladiator, which is SNK and isometric. Gladiator 19s or 80, with a year on the end. The horsey one. Yeah, Madcrasher. Madcrasher feels like an early version of something like LED Storm or Last Duel. Got a very similar racing along a road with jumps and everything. Yeah, I was playing Darius Gaiden yesterday. Very impressive game, that one. I just wanted to show off some of the recent video changes that have been submitted to MAME for that one, because it's nice to see the classic games improve. And yeah, it's 90s, but I think at this point you can say 90s is classic. You can't move all the way up the screen on this. That's kind of annoying. You know, you kind of want to move up the screen to the powers, but you can only move up to that point there. I think I powered up. Oh, it is the big robot thing. This is... Wow, okay, now it's not Xevious, now it's big crazy robot thing. Luckily I can shoot the bullets. It doesn't want to die. That's very different. Yeah, that's a lot of sprites going around on the screen. Captain, write your name. What, this one is actually pretty good. This is HAL 21. That is probably one of the HALs, yes. I did actually... There's something about that. The way the boss was just splitting up into multiple pieces, then sort of coming back together. It reminds me of those games where you blow an arm off the enemy and it will start coming back towards the enemy and reforming, and you've got to just destroy enough bits for it to fall apart. I don't know what... I think if you shoot the thing at the back, those fall apart, so you've got to blast the rest out of the way. But that's really different, actually. It did start off very Xevious, but worth it for the captain. Yeah, there's something about this that does feel unique. Probably this boss, which is probably why they keep putting it in the track mode. They really want people to see this boss thing. I'm assuming it's always going to be the same boss throughout the game. You can just keep recycling it because it's 85, and that's what happens in 85. But, yeah, I think this is probably one I've overlooked, which I would have enjoyed if I'd played more of it. Metal Soldier Isaac 2 really needs the MCU dumping, the 68705. Then it will be likely perfect. Shall we go for something absolutely a bit more modern? Yes, we shall. Yes, we shall. Yeah, for an 85 release, it seems unique. Twin Cobra is much more plain. So, Gachaga Champ by Konami. You helped out with the Macross Plus emulation. What did you do for the Macross Plus emulation? I can't remember. I know that I wrote the driver back in the day. And there's always been a mystery of what one of the motherboard ROM does on that system. It kind of seems to do nothing. It's like, why is there a ROM on the motherboard? It has no purpose. But yeah, did you improve like the zooming or line scroll and stuff like that in the driver? Because I remember I'd left a lot of that unfinished at the time. I think that was improved mainly for the Quiz Sailor Moon game afterwards. Ah, you took the videos of the PCB, right, yes. That is also handy. That is... that's one of the games that was a bad dump at first. There were a lot of corrupt background graphics because the dump was bad, but then it got replaced. So, what's this one? Yeah, it's another PlayStation hardware Konami game. Well, PlayStation hardware, this time Konami. I hope it's not a quiz game. I don't want a quiz game. What are the controls? Twin stick. Okay. Okay. Twin stick game? It's very Japanese. Yeah, the graphic layers is fine. It is a complex video system. I'm kind of hoping that gets done as FPGA at some point, because then somebody might actually study how that ROM on the motherboard is hooked up, because that is one of those things that bugs me. So it's Pong with a frog. Pong with meat. Pong with a mushroom. Pong with Quinby. Yeah, I mean, good reference videos help. Twin stick quiz game with Pong and... This is going to be weird, isn't it? It's going to be one of those weird games. What? I have no idea. I've just got a keyboard here. The undone monkey's got a fresh painted coat. I've not checked it. I don't really look at that much. I'm not sure the Konami code works on arcade games. So, get bottles and throw bottles. Right, okay. This game makes absolutely no sense. What am I doing and why am I doing it? I'm just meant to hit them all. Okay. I think I lost. Some of the Mr. Devs get in contact with their research. I mean, I don't go out my way to look at anything that's been done, but if they say we discovered this, can you implement it like this? You know, sometimes I'll have a look, or someone of the dev will have a look. Okay, rotate both sticks. Same as a Sonic. Am I both characters? I'm both characters, aren't I? Am I both characters? No, maybe, but... Oh. I guess you can do it too fast? Yeah, I should have probably plugged in the PlayStation pad, shouldn't I? Oh, that issue I was having with Data East Tower on the other stream is down to what MAME now defaults to doing with a DualShock 4. For some reason it maps the second joystick to the triggers, which means it's always pressed. Yeah, it's a quiz, I don't know. No, but I'm doing... Oh, what? What? And this is where it becomes unplayable, because you don't know Japanese. I mean, it's a continuous process, Toastman Jack. Things are always getting re-verified. You know, we learn more. Toilet. Yeah, there's no chance of me playing that minigame. So, I mean, this is what I say. People who think that MAME was finished like 20 years ago and is still stuck using dumps from 20 years ago and things like that, not doing themselves any favours if they actually want good emulation. Because a lot of things have been re-verified, changed, fixed, from the emulation code to the dumps. Okay. I'm glad this isn't a Korean game at this point, because you know what would happen if this was a Korean game. It would be, you get one of these and suddenly, surprise! Yeah, it's got that. Well, all these good mini-game games have that energy to them, don't they? They're fast-paced, they're a bit wacky. This is looking like the background to Cool Ride in the attract mode with the high scores. But they have to be fast-paced to keep them interesting. Unfortunately, some of them aren't that clever. So, copy? Yeah, I think so. Okay, what? Okay. If it was Korean, it would definitely not be safe for work or for stream, Mr. Boot. From Guy. I don't know why there's a polar bear in the savannah cow. I mean, were there any cows? Have I missed any cows in the savannah, or cows in a swamp, or I don't know. Or maybe cows are too sensible. This game is for sale and used in Japan only. Yeah, I can believe that. I don't know if it got localized as anything, but I mean, there are a lot of these Champ games, and they're all kind of crazy, and this is no exception. And no, I never played this one before. I don't think I've played quite a few of them before, so that might be something to look at in another stream. Imagine seeing that in a Smash TV cabinet. I think it might require 2 sets of dual sticks. I don't. Then again, Smash TV would. Shall we put the game cow mentioned on? This is Madcrasher, also known as Madcrusher. You see, that's the Madcrasher title, but it was also released as Madcrusher. That's the Madcrusher title. That's got a slight glitch in the SNK logo. What's the other one? So Madcrash is probably a newer set because they cleaned up the text, the SNK logo, and fixed the title. Either that or somebody hacked it to say Madcrasher because Madcrash is a stupid title. I don't really know. But Cow mentioned this one, and I think it counts. I have played it on stream before, but not a great deal. But yeah, it's got that bump and jump LED storm type energy to it. From when you could actually fire an LED storm. Yeah, the prototype version. Jump. You can press into them and knock them on. You did play a Smash TV back in February. Ah, have I seen it? I'm trying to think, have I seen a Smash TV? I don't think I have. Sorry, I'm just checking the Title Fight PCB. I still need to fix the emulation of Title Fight. Virtua Racing, yeah, that was one of the few games at the time that did have a widescreen mode. The emulation, it's mostly okay, but there might be still some physics issues. For the same reason that things like Sega Rally have got physics issues, the TGP emulation or something like that might not be 100%. Very difficult to know, because there's an element of early 3D that's not quite perfect even in original hardware with those. But obviously we know with Sega Rally there's that whole issue of falling through the ground, which doesn't happen, which suggests there are TGP bugs. But yeah, this is got a very jolly tune, but maybe it's a jolly level of destruction. Will filtered texturing work on Model 2 one day? Well, I guess one day. I don't think anybody's too interested in working on that, or at least that side of things. I think they'd rather solve other problems first. Yeah, you can link the Virtua Racing. Yeah, this has got it's like flat shaded 3D, but with sprites, isn't it? Wolf has. Yes, early SNK. Well, 80s SNK, not early. This is going to be one of those that has the high score table in the track, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, a lot of them do that. A lot of these SNK games will show the high score entry thing in a track mode, which confuses people. There. See, that's part of the track mode. It looks like you meant to enter your name because it says your score is great, best 5's got the letters down the bottom. But that's just showing the high score table. And so many of these early SNK games do it that way. I don't know why. Wouldn't it be that difficult to have a different screen, would it? Yeah, SNK were definitely more creative in the 80s, and then the Neo Geo came out, and it was suddenly fighter. Oh, But that's sometimes just how these things go. Okay. Vertical. Here's one I don't play much, which I keep meaning to. This one's been in the list of to play for so many streams. This is Battlecruiser M12 from Sigma. It's not going to do that. What's going on here? Why is it not booting? Did it break? Let's try again. What's happened? I swear this worked earlier. Well, apparently we won't be playing Battlecruiser M12 because it doesn't want to boot. And I have no idea why. It boots in my other folder. Okay, there's no game name display at the bottom because I'm using a different copy of MAME. I really don't know why that one's not booting in the other version, but there you go. Let's window it and actually move it to the right screen. How odd. Anyway. Okay, this is literally the same binary I'm using in my streaming folder. So maybe it's another uninitialized thing? I really don't know. Now there are some missing sounds in the emulation of this one. Probably analog sounds that will need netlist eventually. But I've seen screenshots. It looks like a cute little game. And there are quite a few of these you play as a submarine and you're bombing things in the water, but this one's got the whole water moving up and down thing, so your space between you and the enemies alters as you're playing it, which I thought was an interesting mechanic. It's like you're riding a wave. It's also got little jingles when enemies appear. And I got killed by missiles. Yeah, MAME is being very temperamental for me today. I don't know why. It's not usually this temperamental. I've had no sound, no speech in a game where it was working earlier. This one didn't seem to want to boot. I mean, I deleted my config file for this before I tried to run it again. Just in case there was something corrupt in the config file. It doesn't have NVRAM, so it's not that. So, honestly, I don't know why it didn't want to boot. But yeah, Sigma seemed to like submarine games because they did this one. They also did a game called Submarine. Just Submarine. Although that one is underwater, where you actually play as a submarine rather than bomb the submarines. It's also surprising how many games there are with submarines in, either playing as them or bombing them. I mean, famous ones you've got In the Hunt and things like that. But you've got submarine, as I said. You've got Taito's Battle Shark, where you're playing underwater in some sort of submarine. You've got N-Sub from Sega. You've got The Deep from Woodplace. There's an awful lot of submarine games. Turbo Sub. I think somebody mentioned. Did somebody mention Turbo Sub in the chat earlier? That's another one. Submarine game. Upscope. I think that is too. But I don't know why some getting killed by these missiles. Yeah. Was it you, John, mentioned Turbo Sub? I did see the comment, even if I didn't read it out. So I was trying to play and read at the same time. Turbo Sub I've not played much of. That's an odd game where I think you really need the cabinet, don't you? Sigma cloned Orca's hardware. Yeah, the Sigma hardware is very close to Orca hardware. I don't know if they cloned it or just in reality it was developed by the same people. I was better at this earlier as well. I'm not playing it very well now. Yeah, I'm going to have a look at some of these issues, especially the ones that, like this not booting and the sound not playing in Cosmos. That shouldn't be happening. Oh, I avoided the missile that time. It's a very simple game, but not bad. I mean, the animation on the ship is good. Probably not going to be much variety. It's just going to be this over and over again. But sometimes that's all you need. Yeah, the Sigma have a few good games, really. I mean, there's Wanted, which we've played before. That's a good fun one. This is still round 1 apparently. Probably because I keep dying. Oh, I might get to round 2. There we go. This is Battlecruiser M12. There's no display in the bottom of the corner of the screen because I was having problems with the build that I usually use. Battlecruiser M12 from Sigma. There you go. That's the title screen for you. So yeah, I'll move on from that one, but I'll note down that I need to work out why it doesn't boot in the other folder. Let's just see if it boots in the other folder now. No. Okay, maybe it just gets stuck on that screen for longer. I don't know. Maybe I was just being impatient before. So it does boot in the other folder eventually, but takes a long time without showing anything. But I sped it up before and didn't seem to want to boot. I honestly don't know. Never mind. It may be I was being impatient and just didn't wait long enough, but it seemed to be taking a long time doing nothing before. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's go with... Now this is one where I'm actually going to end up playing a console game at the same time to show the difference. Because it's quite a difference. Insector-X from Taito, 1989. Now, some would describe this as a cute 'em up. Seems a bit quiet. Let's turn it up a little bit. You play this cute little bee-type human thing, shooting other insects. And as you can see, it's all bright and colourful. Fortunately, the power system is a bit annoying, isn't it? I think you can power down as well as power up if you click the wrong things. Second power. Would have felt at home on the Famicom. Yeah, Battlecruiser would have been. So, I often get this one confused with another Taito game, which is actually a very different game than Dr. Topple's Adventure. But I guess because they're both quite cute games, although one of them is vertical and this one's horizontal, but no autofire, unfortunately. I don't know what he does. I think that's the secondary weapon, isn't it? It was developed by Hot B. Also developed Shuki Kaisen, yeah, the Cloudmaster one. I died. Anyway, the reason I was showing this one, not so much to play it, and this is where we will move to a non-arcade. It got a Genesis port, or I think Japanese Mega Drive. I don't know if it came out outside of Japan. And immediately you can see the mood of the whole thing is very, very different. Ported by Sage's Creation. But suddenly, you know, you're this mechanical looking thing, and it's all quite dark and dingy. The whole cute 'em up look has gone. I mentioned Battle Shark earlier. It doesn't look like the same game. You like it on the Genesis better, you like this look better. I think the arcade's got slightly better controls, maybe. It feels a bit more responsive, whereas the Genesis movement feels a bit floaty. But the way they've changed up the visual style so much is odd. It doesn't feel like a port of the game, even if you know it is a port of the game. Yeah, I mean, this wasn't ported by Sega, this was ported by Sega's creation. I'm not even sure you've got a secondary weapon in this either. At least to not pick one up if you have. I've only one of the buttons seems to be doing anything. Oops, got shot. How do you cute somebody? I don't know. This version is also more difficult. That is not helping that my keys aren't right. Fantasy, my favourite Fantasy Zone is Super Fantasy Zone on the Mega Drive. So, yes, apparently the Mega Drive version is more difficult than the arcade, but that's probably because I'm wholly underpowered now after dying when I shouldn't have died. These bullets can make you fast. Come on, we at least got to get to a boss. But you say you would not think this was a port. Okay, we're not playing that anymore. I'm fed up with dying on that one. That is called rage quitting. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, just as a little distraction from the arcade stuff. Okay. Okay. We are over 2 hours, so I think the next one is going to be the last one. And it's a very old, quiet game. It was also done by Hot B. So why so different? Yeah, Solar Assault does run really well now, doesn't it? So this is one of those old Space Invaders games. And yeah, it's birds in a tree. It's warning, it's only got Space Invaders sound, UFO sound for the mystery, and nothing else. But yeah, there's no real proper track mode. It's just like, here's a tree and some people, you can play this game. Apparently you want 4 credits. Now, I don't really understand. I think the other guy's trying to chop down the tree, and you're trying to shoot the birds in the tree before he chops down the tree. I mean, I'm not sure if you think it's if he chops down the tree, he'll get all the birds out the tree, but then you're shooting them to stop them getting the bird. I don't understand the premise of the game. Other than these birds are really annoying because they just flicker on and off everywhere. And then there's a UFO that's just a bird. It's like everything that's fun about Space Invaders is not fun here because things just vanish when you're trying to shoot them. And then say that there's lots of sprite override, and it's very messy indeed. I played it briefly before the stream and thought, what is this? Why does this exist? Don't understand that because you kind of lose track of what's going on. I mean, they do move between 2 set positions, so you know it's not like they're random, luckily, but it's still annoying. Let's just clear out this tree of all these pesky birds. It's like that one part of Ghouls and Ghosts, but as a whole game. Yosaku to Donbei was released by Tekken, now Tecmo. Okay, poor wing. I didn't realise that. Was this one of Wing's earlier games too? Did Wing make any of them? I've seen the Wing logo on other things. We've got that Super Wing game where the pinball thing where it's still a bad dump. I think that was actually developed by Wing, wasn't it? Well, you still need another board of that. Because Super Wing, the pinball game, which I think was by Wing, when you get the bonus item, it tries to bank in a ROM, which I think is a bad dump, and then just crashes. I think I covered that one in the games that don't work properly stream. But this, I kind of wish this had proper sound, but I don't know if anybody will even find a PTV to trace to see what the proper sound system's going to be, because I'm pretty sure it's not meant to be Space Invaders sounds, because that's bad. They also made Adventure, which is not emulated. Yeah, I guess this stuff is really obscure. The birds do seem to gradually get lower, like Space Invaders. And then it's game over. And it leaves graphics behind as well. It doesn't seem like a very clean piece of code. But yeah, I thought I'd end on that one. It's one I've looked at, not felt compelled to play before. Thought, well, I'll put it on the list of things to look at for this stream. And so I've looked at it. But yes, we're over 2 hours now. I did say this was going to be a shorter stream. And I'm going to stick to that because, yeah, it's, I mean, it's after 11 o'clock now. It's almost, but we're heading towards midnight and I'd like to get some sleep. So thank you everybody for being here. Yeah, it runs on Space Invaders Type Hardware Retro 6502. But yeah, good night everybody, and thank you for being here. I appreciate the conversation, the random facts from Aussie Guy, and you know the general friendly nature that we've got going on here. And I managed to play quite a few games that I've only played maybe once or twice before, and in some cases never before, and I enjoyed that. And I'm guessing maybe some of you haven't seen those games before either, and some of them are probably worth checking out. I mean, the one I really enjoyed, I did really enjoy Levers by Rockola, for example. So take care, everybody, and I will see you next time, which might be tomorrow. I've not decided yet. It depends what's going on, but I may be streaming tomorrow. We will see. Anyway, good night, everybody. Take care.